welcome back to Frenchies Bakery. Today we are going to be making the best apple pie you have ever tasted. And this is a horrible idea. We probably should not be doing this because we're still in quarantine and we're gonna eat the whole pie by ourselves. So this is a horrible idea. And I also wanna mention that I am not responsible for whatever crazy, loud, banging, yelling, whatever noises are about to happen in this video. I can't help that because Mike's home today. He's not out filming because it is pouring rain. So this is once again another unprofessional video, just like my last one. It's kind of just like we're here, we're having fun, we're baking together, and it's not really gonna be like a hardcore lesson on how to make a big crazy cake. It's just very laid back and we're gonna just be super unhealthy together and eat this apple pie together. We are going to be making our pie crust from scratch, and you can also get whatever pie crust you want from the store. I just like to make my own pie crust because it's extra flaky and just super fresh. So I'm gonna show you guys how to make a pie crust. I honestly don't remember what I was saying because my camera battery died, because that's my luck this week. I've been having atrocious luck this week. So we'll see how this pie goes. But I'm gonna put up my hair and zoom the camera in and show you guys everything that we are going to be doing with the pie crust. Let me put up my hair and then we'll get to the pie crust. All right, so we are going to start on our pie dough. So I have a nice medium-sized bowl here, which we're gonna be putting everything in. I have some ice water here. You wanna just get a little cup of water and add some ice cubes in it so it's nice and cold. And then I also have a tablespoon just sitting in there. I have my flour, some salt, and then some Crisco. And you guys can use butter. That's obviously gonna make it taste better. I just have some Crisco laying around and I wanna get rid of it before it expires. So the first thing we're gonna do is add in 2 cups of flour into our bowl here. And then we're gonna add in a teaspoon of salt. And then I'm gonna stir that around so it's evenly distributed. Give it a good stir. And then I'm gonna add in my Crisco, and the good thing is it has some measurements on the side, so it makes it really easy. We're gonna do 2/3 cup and then 2 tablespoons. So I'm gonna cut this and then add it in. I'm going to take a fork and just cut the fat into the flour. You can also use your hands. Normally I do, but today I'm just going to use a fork, and we're just going to break up the fat into the flour until we have like little, just like small balls all throughout the flour of fat, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. You want the fat in the flour to be about pea size, so then whenever this melts in the oven, it's gonna just be melty, yummy goodness. Just really, really good and really unhealthy, but whatever, we're gonna ignore that part. So the next thing we're going to do is add in some water to make this into dough. I like to push all of my dough over to the side. You guys, I can't even tell you how much pie dough I've made in my life. I've made so much pie dough and it's really easy and really good. I'm gonna take 2 tablespoons of ice cold water, and I'm just going to mix in a little bit of dough here, or flour mixture, until it turns into a dough ball. So you just wanna work this in parts. You don't want to do it all at once. So we're just going to wait until this forms into a little dough. And then we're going to push it up against the side of the bowl out of the way. And we're just going to keep doing this to the rest of the flour until we have completely formed all of this into dough. Once you get to the end, you don't want to add in too much water. I would say just like a tablespoon once you have just a little bit left, because a little bit goes a long way with water and flour. So you just want to add in a little bit at the end, and if you need to add in a little bit more water, you can add in like half a teaspoon. But you just want to be really careful with that, because once you add too much, you can't go back. So I have it pretty perfect here. I'm gonna form it all together. It has the right amount of water in it and everything. I'm gonna take off my rings because I absolutely hate getting dough stuck in my rings. Okay, so I'm just gonna form it together. You wanna make sure you have really clean hands. The next thing we're going to do once we have it in a nice ball, we're gonna just take our fork and cut it right down the middle, because you wanna have 2 separate dough balls, because we're going to use one for the top of the pie and one for the bottom of the pie. And then we're just going to wrap these in saran wrap and store them in the fridge while we make the filling for our pie. Now for my least favorite part, I hate peeling apples, but we're going to peel 5 Granny Smith apples, and then we're gonna cut them really thinly sliced, and then we're gonna put them back in this bowl. Make sure it's a microwave safe bowl because we are going to be microwaving these. So let's cut and peel them, and then we will move on to our next step. So once we have our apples peeled and cut, honestly, it wasn't that bad. I was like dreading it, but really it's not that big of a deal, especially because it was only 5 apples. So the next thing we are going to do is add in the rest of our ingredients to our pie filling. So we are going to add in 3 tablespoons of flour, 3/4 cup of granulated sugar, and a teaspoon of cinnamon. We're just going to mix all of that together, get it all over the apples. Once you have it all stirred, you're then gonna pop this into the microwave for about a minute, and then we're gonna stir it, and then we're probably gonna pop it in for another minute. Once you have your pie mixture nice and juicy and warm from the microwave, and you mix it around a whole bunch, I highly recommend not tasting the apples because they are addicting and you will eat all of them in one sitting. So I'm gonna push this aside before I eat them all. Now we're going to roll out our dough. So I'm gonna take a little bit of flour here and just sprinkle it all over my countertop. You wanna make sure you have plenty of flour because this is gonna get pretty sticky. So just sprinkle it all over. And then we're gonna take 1 roll of dough and we're just going to roll this out. I also like to put a little bit of flour on top of the pie dough because like I said, this gets pretty sticky. So I just flatten it out a little bit with my hand, get it started, and then I just roll it out, and you want to form a circle, so you want to keep spinning the dough so you keep it in a nice circle. And then I like to take my pie dish and see if it's big enough. I'm gonna roll mine out just a little bit longer because we're gonna need some extra dough to make the crust on top. And then I like to fold my dough into 4ths. So I fold it over, and then I fold it over again, and where this point is, we're gonna put that in the center of the pie dish, and then just unfold our pie dough. And push it down in nice and gently. All right, and now we are going to add in our pie filling. So there's going to be a lot of juice since we microwave these, and you do not want the juice to go in the pie. So I just take a big scoop and I put it right in the pie. And you don't want to dump it because all the juice will come out. So just take a few scoops, and this extra few steps of scooping is going to be way better than having a soggy bottom from all of the juice. Now we're going to do the most unhealthy thing ever, and we're going to add more sugar, and we're going to add butter on top of our pie filling to just make it incredibly yummy. I'm gonna do 1/2 tablespoon of sugar, and we're just going to put this over the top. And then I'm going to just cut up little pieces of butter here, so you wanna make sure it's refrigerated. And I just put them all over the top of the pie, putting it in between some of the apples. And this is just gonna melt down into the apples while it's baking and just be absolutely delicious. All right, now we're gonna put down some more flour because we're gonna roll out our top piece of dough to keep in our little apples and keep them warm and tight and cozy and whatever. So we're gonna put down this dough, put down some flour on top of that, and we're gonna roll it out. Fold it in half, fold it in half again, and then we're gonna put it that point right in the middle of the pie and unfold it. I just take some scissors and I trim off the extra pie dough. And then I'm just gonna go around the pie and make a little rim for my dough. Now I'm going to cut 4 little slits in the top just so it can air out and nothing goes wrong with the pie. You wanna make sure that you have a little bit of an opening. And then I like to add on the finishing touch. I have 2 tablespoons of melted butter here, and then I added in some granulated sugar, just like a little pinch, like, I don't know, a teaspoon, and then just a tiny bit of cinnamon, like 1/4 a teaspoon. And we're just going to brush this over top of the pie, and this is going to make it extra crunchy and crispy whenever it comes out. So I like to have a crispy pie crust, and that is what we are going to get with this step. You can also put on an egg wash if you'd like. This just is thebomb.com, so I would recommend doing this. And I'm gonna take some tin foil just to protect the crust of my pie here. I'm going to definitely invest in a crust cover. They're like really cheap on Amazon. So I'm going to order one because I make plenty of pies. I should definitely have one. But I'm just gonna make a homemade one here with some tin foil, and we're just going to wrap our crust with it and keep this on for the first 25 minutes of baking, just so your crust doesn't get overdone, because usually that's the first thing to overbake. Our pie is ready to be baked. I'm so excited. So we are going to put this, like I said, in a 375-degree oven, keep it in for 25 minutes, take off your little protector, and then we're gonna keep it in for another 25 minutes. So we're gonna bake it a total of 50 minutes. So let's get to baking so we can get to eating. All right, guys, finally our pie is finished and it looks so good. It smells so good. It's still a little warm. I'm gonna let it cool a little bit longer, but it definitely is still a little bit warm, and I'm going to be putting some ice cream on top because it's the only way you can eat any kind of pie. Ice cream, all the way. So I'm gonna put a nice scoop of ice cream on top and enjoy it and watch a movie, and I'm just so excited to eat it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy this recipe. Tag me in pictures if you make it. It is just so scrumptious and so easy, and it really doesn't take that long. It's just a long time to bake, and it's a fun activity to do while we're all cooped up. And it is just some heartfelt food. It was raining today, it felt like fall, so I figured we should make an apple pie and act like it's Thanksgiving. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Have a good rest of your day, everyone. Bye.